the over on that.
With Travis Hunter, I imagine, Dane, in all the years you've been doing this, you haven't had to spend as much time just to watch one game of a guy because you're talking about like 160 snaps all the time. What was it like to study him, and how did you go about sorting out where he would rank both as a wide receiver and a corner?
Yeah, and if I'm getting tired just watching the amount of tape to get him, I can't imagine what it's like for him to actually put in. And he doesn't get enough credit for not just the athletic ability that it takes to do that, but the mental commitment to understand what to do on offense, what to do on defense. And he played some special teams as well. And so it's interesting talking to teams about Travis Hunter because they all just are they marvel at what he's able to do. But okay, for the real world NFL transition, what does that mean? Can he really be a two-way player at the NFL? A lot of teams are convinced that he can do it. I think the bigger question is he a primary corner, or is he going to be primarily a receiver? And then the secondary position you try to mix in. And I think teams are split on that. I think the higher potential is at corner, where he has a sky-high ceiling, can be a top 3 corner in the NFL. But a lot of teams look at him on offense and say, look, he affects the scoreboard. How dynamic he is with the ball in his hands, I want to keep him on offense. So a lot of teams look at him at receiver. And you look at the Browns picking at number 2, we know they need offensive help. They ranked 32 last year in offensive scoring points per game, 32 in third down conversions. They need a spark on offense. And if they don't believe a quarterback is worthy at number 2, assuming Cam goes number 1, then I think Travis Hunter could be directly in their sights as a receiver, and they try to figure out how to mix him in on defense as well.
So setting aside Travis Hunter, who's a unicorn in this whole thing, this has been regarded as a draft class where you don't have a lot of those really high-end wide receivers like we've seen in recent years, guys who are in the top 10 type of conversation. You got a couple of them, though, in your top 15. When you looked at Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden, and some of those other guys, how'd you go about kind of ranking those receivers?
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of differing opinions around the league about how you stack these guys. And like you were saying, comparing this class to just, past classes, especially last year, if Brian Thomas was in this class, he didn't go until the 20s last year, but he would be the number 1 receiver in this class. And so it's not to take anything away from this year's wide receivers, but it is a little bit lighter compared to last year when we had 3 in the top 10, and then Brian Thomas was still available in the mid-20s. But they're still good players. And with McMillan, he's a little bit different because he's not a burner in terms of speed. He's not going to be a pure separator. He's more of that T. Higgins, who, T. Higgins ran a 4.59 when he was coming out as a prospect. But a guy that is going to win with his catch radius, win with just being a ball winner, and maybe the separation isn't consistent, but he catches it really well away from his frame. You rarely see that ball get into his body. And then with Matthew Golden, the way he came on later in the year for Texas and helping them reach the playoffs, win in the playoffs, I love so much about how his feet, his hips, his eyes, his shoulders as a route runner, they're all connected. And so he's able to create his own space. He can work inside, can work outside. Really like his fit. And you say like it with Dallas at 12, you think about what he can bring, pairing him with a CD Lamb, that makes a lot of sense. Or pairing him with, put him in Pittsburgh with the DK Metcalf. We'll see how that situation shakes out. So I think with Matthew Golden, maybe he doesn't have that star potential, but he'd be a really good secondary option for an offense.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.